button on the top. It's
Okay. Is it?
Got a policy. There's a back there.
Just a minute, I'm getting there.
nope. I'm
Sorry,
just
it
waiting
was
for
a-
you to give me the
It was,
okay. And I'll rock and roll.
Sneaking it in the back door.
There's old Scotty Adders, he's not making it.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. We shall call this meeting to order June 9th, 2025, and it's 9:31 a.m. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
State.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us start with roll call. Josh,
Here.
Lauren,
Here.
Rod,
Here.
Stephanie is here. Take a gander and review the agenda. We're looking for a motion on that.
Approve the motion for the agenda.
Okay, got a motion for the agenda. Second,
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Josh, second. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Perfect. Now let's move on to the minutes. Review the minutes real quick and let us know if there's any
I read
adjustments.
the minutes and I approve them.
We got a motion for the minutes by Lauren. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Rod. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Let's move on to the financials. Okay, anything out of the ordinary, Sam?
Um, give me 1 second. There was one that I had was trying to remember to talk to you guys about, but can't remember which one it was.
See anything on here that looked like it was
Don't think so. I think we're
not of our regular expenses.
The one for NDACO for the workers' comp, we already paid our workers' comp and then this is the overage. And then soon I did get the breakout, so I will break it out into the individual budgets. So a correction will be coming for that. But I don't think there was anything else. I think we're good.
I looked over the expenses,
Yeah.
so I'll make a motion to approve all the expenses for this meeting.
Lauren made a motion to approve of the expenses. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Josh. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? We'll do roll call vote. We'll start with Rod,
Aye.
Josh, Lauren,
Aye.
Stephanie votes aye. Motion carried. Now let's move on to Lexi. Come on down and have a seat and give us an update.
Some heat.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. So Century Code 403809 states that I have to come and report to you guys yearly by July 1st of each year. In the past, I just kind of given you a paper, but the state library is asking us to come and meet with you guys. So you'll be seeing more of me. So I have to report on the condition of the library and the property. So the building is owned by the city. We share the cost of fixing the building. It's in good repair. The front door is very cumbersome to get in and out of. And we have become trying to find a grant to make that door handicap accessible. So we did get a singular bid so far, but it was keeping the doors as is, and we would like new doors because they let in a lot of cold air and they get all frosted up and you can't see out of them. So, and then the only other thing would be the furnace is pretty old. There's no record of it before 1970, and they figure it's closer to like late 1950s. So it's pretty old. Then I have to report how much money we received in from all sources. So that's listed out there. There was an error with the amount that was dispersed from the city of Cooperstown. They didn't disperse any of the tax money to us last year, and that has been corrected. So that's why that amount is so minuscule. And then how much money we expended, and of course, you know, you look at those numbers and they're pretty skewed because we spent a lot more than we received in, but that has been corrected now. The number of materials that we own within our library is 23,719. And then the number of materials that we added last year and how many we removed. So to get new materials in, you have to take stuff out. So you want that number to be about the same. And then what are the things we have within our library is books, audio CDs, DVDs, games. We're so much more than just books now. We're doing crafting and sourdough classes and organizational classes. And so then on the other side is this infographic that the state library put together for us with just some of our successes and where we're at. So everything is an improvement. We have an increase of, you know, over 20% in many areas, and then like we're open at the library 304 days and we had 288 programs. So I mean, we're busy. Do you guys have any questions for me on anything at the library or?
I do not.
Okay,
Maybe any questions? Well, thank you for the
Yeah.
update.
yes.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, are we really ahead of schedule? Do you have a Red River water supply project?
I think we're way ahead of schedule.
I guess I don't mess around.
You're-
We can jump ahead if you guys want to, Wayne, and
Right? Last week, we had bids let for the
Can we-
project.
can we have you here? Because I like to have it recorded. All right, you know, the microphones make it sound so nice and clear for everybody. Thank you.
Paul can sit there. Yes, so last Monday, was it? Tuesday, we had bid let for the Hannaford County Road 26 project where we're gonna fix up the streets through Hannaford and all the way out to the fertilizer plant west of town. We had two bidders and I think Paul is gonna report on that and he has submitted it to the state. They accepted the bids, the low bid. Border States. And the
Yep.
other bidder was Knife River.
Yep. Yeah, so the bid letting was June 3rd at 1 p.m. Border States was apparent low bidder. The bid totals, let's see, our engineer's estimate was 2.5 million and the bids came in at 1.957 and 2.075. So they're real close to each other, so don't have any concerns with the low bid. And there's only one small rounding error in one of the bid items, but it didn't affect their totals. Their totals are both correct as submitted. So the bid tabulation is no concerns with ranking of bids or anything. It didn't change anything there. So I guess we'd be looking for, I guess our recommendation is to award Border States paving. And I guess you'd need to make a motion to that effect. The state, it's 100% state funds for that project and the state has given their concurrence and award.
And this is the Hannaford project.
Yep, it'd be just,
And both of them bid on the same, same work, everything like that,
yeah.
cause I know you were talking about curb stops and all that too, and some of those being changed and fixed, or am I wrong on that?
No utility
You gotta follow
adjustments.
the plan.
Okay,
Right, yeah, they both bid on the same plan set,
Okay.
same specs. Yeah,
I just wanna make sure, cause I don't wanna get the lower one and it wound up being something that we missed, so that's why.
Yeah, no, I think there was 58 bid items, so it's a unit price contract.
Okay.
So like every bid item, they bid apples to apples.
Okay,
And they all have to follow the same specs. Let's see. And then the completion date is October 25th of this year. We don't know for sure what their start date's going to be yet, but yeah, so we'd be looking for a motion to award the contract to Border States Paving. They'll send out, or we'll send the contracts to them after you guys make the motion to award to them. They'll send out their performance and payment bonds for your guys' review, and then like at your next commission meeting, you'd be able to actually sign the contracts after reviewing their bonds.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to award the contract to Board of States paving.
Motion by Lauren. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Josh. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? And with this, we'll do roll call. Rod,
Aye.
Josh,
I,
Lauren,
Aye.
and Stephanie votes aye. Motion carried.
All right, sounds good. We'll get that letter sent out to them here today.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anything else, Wayne?
Oh, yes.
We got lots of things.
Paul, go down your list here.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. no,
I better get
thanks.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Just two other things on the agenda here, for roads anyway, at least for engineering. The construction engineering contract for the Decker Bridge, was sent out by the DOT. I guess we'd probably need a motion to go ahead and sign that. That one's 100% state funds. We'd already interviewed for it months ago, and it finally made it through the state system. That won't actually take place construction wise until May of next year is the contractor schedule. It has to be done by the end of October of next year. But that we've already been reviewing submittals and stuff for that. But the state's already reviewed the contract, reviewed our submittals and stuff and sent it out. So if we could get a motion to go ahead and sign that
You need a motion to sign it?
yeah,
on behalf for the county.
yeah,
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Josh to approve the Decker Bridge contract,
The construction engineering. Yep.
construction engineering.
Oh, one other question.
Yeah.
Does Jamie need to look over that or is that fine?
I think it's the state format
It's
contract.
a state deal, so
Was he on that? Do you know Sam already?
Excuse me.
Did Jamie already review the construction engineering contract that Scott looked at for the bridge? I think it was last week already. Because the DocuSign from the state.
Scott.
Did I give that to Jamie?
It didn't have, I looked at it and it didn't have a signature line for him. I
I
thought,
don't think so then, no.
but it's the state's attorney, the state has their attorney drafts it.
and that's fine. I just want to make sure I
Has he
don't.
seen the Morse seal coat
Right.
thing and he hasn't signed that yet.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so motion stands.
Yeah, motion still stands. Yep.
Okay, looking for a second?
I second it.
Second by Lauren. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? Should we do roll call on this one again? Let's do roll call. Rod,
Aye.
Josh,
I,
Lauren,
Aye.
and Stephanie votes aye. Motion carried. Next item.
All right. And then the same thing for the Griggs County Highway 19 seal coat and patching from Highway 200 to going south at I think it's 8.25 miles. SC 2019-058 that Morse Seal Coat has. So they've got the construction contract with the contractor's been signed, but we'll need to do the construction engineering. We've already been selected and interviewed for that a while back. But that one's 80.93% federal funds, and then the county makes up the 19.07% local. They haven't asked for a pre-job yet, but we should probably sign that contract as well. And the state has already reviewed and sent that federal aid form to the county as well. So we need a motion to approve that contract as well.
Because we've already done this. We've already approved all of it thus far, and this is just the next.
The actual contract. So that one's 49,402.61 was the total. And the county would be responsible for 19.07% of that, or roughly 10,000.
Okay.
Then that's 100% funded, and then we pay after.
Yeah, so all the payments will go through the state and they'll invoice the county for the 19.07%.
And Wayne, I believe you have all that figured in your budget anyways, right? Yep.
Mhm.
I'll make that motion then too.
Motion by Josh to accept the contract. Looking for a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Lauren. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? We'll run another roll call vote. Rod?
I'm an aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Lauren?
Aye.
And Stephanie votes aye. Motion carried.
All right, thanks. I think that's all I'll add for project updates.
Perfect.
That was County Road what?
19.
19.
Cool, thank you.
Yep.
Airport Road, right?
Yep. SC 2019-058.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yep.
So the next thing is Red River water source.
And they're at.
They had talked to me about getting haul roads approved and approval for open trenching across the roads versus boring.
That's.
So Scott Maring's supposed to be here from,
Okay. We can, he's probably not gonna be here until 10. We can jump ahead a little bit.
Do you wanna move on to what's-
Oh, yes, we can totally bring our sweet gal up here. Oh,
All right, thank you guys.
thank you, guys.
Well, tax equalization's not till 10:30, but did you wanna, yeah,
Do you wanna bring, or do you wanna review anything until then?
Yeah.
Can we review stuff before then?
Well, I have the one that paid under protest.
okay, yep.
When was he scheduled or didn't we have it on the schedule?
That's under when time allows, so you're good to go there.
I can move meetings along, don't I?
Well, that's fine. I need to get it going today. Keep it going.
Okay. Should I wait?
No.
No, you can start with
No.
yours.
Okay,
Whatever we got.
all right. Apparently at the last meeting, there was a taxpayer, Broughton, is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
He had paid under protest and he thought that his valuation was too high on his property. So I did a review with the assessor, and in 2022, they sent the township had sent a notice of increase of the value of his property with new construction or new remodeling, things like that, were on his property. So he was sent a notice of increase, notified of the township board. He did not appeal it at that time, nor did he appeal at the county board of equalization. So for 2023, it was increased to a total of $84,820. Then in later part of 2023, the state board increased townships in Griggs County, and therefore it went to 27% increase on his property, or roughly about 27. So when Griggs County received that increase, it should have gone on the 2022 value. Instead, it went on the new 2023 value. So that percentage of increase was incorrectly calculated on his property.
So it was
So-
on 2 years.
It was on the 22-year, or excuse me, it was on the new value that was approved at the county board. So it was a simple, it was just an error. So I would recommend that we decrease that. And then also, just looking at the whole, the program of it, the 584,820 as what he had was approved at its township and at the county is what I believe that 23 and 24, the years 2023 and 2024 should remain.
Okay.
So, and with that, I have completed abatements, but I believe I would recommend that this go back to the township. They will have to approve it. And then at that time, when he goes back to the township, he can argue that, or appeal his value again if he would like to. But this is just in response to the county as to why and what happened. So. And I do believe that I included in the packet the notice of increase that he was sent, the pictures of it, the reason why it went up, from the 2022 to 2023 was because of the new construction and the new building. So, and I support the assessor's value of 584. So I would recommend that we just send the abatement forms back to the township and let them decide.
We don't have to make a motion on that, or you just do that, or do we have to?
No, I will send it to the township and then you guys will, so it goes to their approval first and then you guys will see it back,
Okay,
Okay.
good.
We don't have to do anything today?
No,
Okay,
right?
Okay,
thank
No.
you.
no.
it's just to inform you
Yeah.
of what was,
That's fine.
so, and
I was trying to figure it out at home and
well, it's hard because when they appealed to the county first, it always has to go back. You know, the abatements have to go back to the township, you know,
Mhm.
and so, and again, the township can decide one way or the other that, you know, but this is just my recommendation.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Now, where are we at? We have,
Come on in.
Are we up?
Yes,
Good.
you're right on time.
Well, we're never late. so. We're never late.
Just to sign in.
Sign in and then we'll have some chairs around whoever's speaking, are all speaking, everybody speaking. Can scooch down if I need to make room, or can sit over here if you want.
I'm happy right down. But I can sign in.
was it Red River?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. Checking my watch.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
One more to go. I guess I can start. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Kip Kovar, I'm the district engineer for Garrison Diversion. We're here to talk about two topics on the Red River Valley Water Supply Project. The first one is the pipeline near the railroad tracks. Two landowners are involved. It's Bailey's and Lacey's Harrington Trust. And along the pipeline, every now and then we have a manhole that sticks above the ground. And originally we had it on Lacey's property, but on that piece of property to access the field, that manhole really is in the way. So then, of course, I went and talked to the Baileys and they don't want the structure on their property. So I said, well, what about if we split the difference? We put it right on. So half of it's on one property, half is on the other property. And they both agreed to that. So we have a petition from Vogel Law that both landowners signed off on that. And so we're bringing it to you guys to see if you would approve closing that section line off to any roads in the future. It leads right to a slough. Scott, do you have that? I do. I just printed off a couple pictures, so make sure your north arrow's up. The green line represents the pipeline. And then this is the section line, and you can see it leads right to a slough. We just feel like there's no.
So would you build a road there? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Access road?
we would want you guys to never
Which
build a
road are
road
you
there,
gonna
and we
build?
want to put
You're
a
gonna put
manhole right in the
next line.
smack dab in the middle so that it can never be developed.
I see what you're saying.
So Sutton.
I thought you were saying it was gonna be like to
Sutton's right
the,
over here.
that's the deal, and then there's gonna be something to the track.
So you wanna close this section line?
We just don't anticipate you guys would ever build a road there,
Yeah, I
because
don't,
it leads right to a slough. Why would you ever build a road? So. And I don't know what your process is. I can go research it, but we did start the process with you guys, bringing in a petition for you guys.
and since both landowners sign off on it, they weren't worried about a road either.
Correct, right. And it's in this packet.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's something you have to check on in the future. I don't know if there's a public notice. I have no idea what. Process.
Jamie isn't here today, but I think we need to review this with Jamie to find out the exact legal steps on this, but I think
sure.
it's
Yeah, I don't think it'll be an issue, but let's just double
Right.
check with him, just
Okay.
make sure there's no.
If he's agreeable, I don't see any reason.
yeah.
Okay, and give us a call if you have any questions on that. Item number 2.
And this is mine.
Yeah, that's the original. So yeah,
Okay,
you could keep
this is
that
for
one.
Jamie.
Whoever you think is in charge on that
Responsible?
one. Yeah, responsible.
we'll
There
give
we
it to
go.
responsible
Proper
gal
words there.
Sam. She's the responsible
Oh,
one.
jeez, okay.
So the next one is, construction's getting closer to Griggs County, and before we bid a project, we bring in all road approval maps. So we want Griggs County to approve which roads the project's going to be using. So Scott and Vance have been working with Wayne on that process, and so that's what you have in front of you. And I think the table, so the first page is the map. The yellow line represents the pipeline, or the orange, whatever you want to call it. Green lines are what we would like to use as haul roads. Right?
Yep.
And then after the map is a table that shows every road crossing. And then it shows if it's a township road or a county road. And it shows what kind of road it is, whether it's gravel, 2-track or a paved road.
I did just get Jamie on if you guys want to go back through this if you wanted. Otherwise, you guys can continue.
Hey, guys.
Good morning, Jamie. I
Hey,
think-
how's everybody? Good. We just want to make sure there's a legal question that we don't miss on one of these roads in the section line.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Can you just briefly explain it to me?
Yeah, go
Want me
ahead.
to?
Yeah.
There is a section line that leads to a slough. And
Okay,
it's probably a quarter mile long.
okay,
And we anticipate that nobody would ever want to build a road on that section line because it leads to a slough.
And then the railroad track.
Oh, sorry, and it leads right to a railroad tracks. Yes, thank you. That's probably the most important part. And sorry, I am from Garrison Diversion. We're working on the Red River Valley Water Supply Pipeline. So it's a pipeline project. And every now and then, Jamie, we need to have a manhole that comes above ground. So it's a structure that's very irritating to all landowners. And both landowners on each side of the section line agreed that I could put that structure right smack dab, splitting on both sides of the section line,
okay,
on the section line. And so we're coming to the commission to see if we can close the section line so that we can put this structure on the section line.
okay,
And we have documents signed off from each landowner that were created by Vogel Law, our attorney in the matter. And so we're bringing that to you today.
Okay, so has your attorney from Vogel researched how to close the section line? Because it requires more than that.
Correct. No, and Vogel asked me if they wanted to take the lead, and I said, no, let me go to the commission first. And we can definitely do that. I just thought I'd come here first.
So
this topic on.
statutorily, I've done this before, up in Nelson County. Statutorily, the county just can't say a section line is closed. Either it has to be the petition, and this is just all off the top of my head from my recollection, but there's a section of code that allows for this, the county or the township to close the section line. And, one of the first things that you have to look at is if it's not a pass-through section line, if there's a natural obstruction like a slough or lake or land that makes it impassable. And then there's a petition process and then a hearing process. So the landowner has to petition, I think it's at least 6 landowners of adjoining property or adjacent property, I think it says. And then bring it to the commission, and there's a hearing process that has to happen. I think it has to be heard twice and advertised in the paper as well. So it can be done, but it's not a short process such as you coming to the commission meeting with a document that's signed off on. It actually has to have a public hearing, so we're transparent to everybody else.
Thanks, Jamie, for that. And we will go do our research and make sure that we come back next a little more prepared.
If you want to give Samantha your email address, I can give you the section of code that it is.
Yeah.
It is a fairly easy process, and I by no means am I trying to be defiant by saying you need to do this, but that's actually the only way that it can be done. It actually can't, from my research, it can't be done by the commission by itself and just saying, hey, we're going to close the section line. It actually has to be done this way because the section line is open for public travel for everybody. So the only way is the petition process that the section line can actually be closed. So I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to be difficult, but that's the way that's the way the law reads.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not taking that as I figured there'd be some sort of public process. I didn't research it. Sorry about that. But
Well, no, and that's fine. I didn't know that. I figured that maybe the attorneys from Vogel would have, but it is a simple, pretty straightforward process. It just gives the public the ability to come in and object to closing the section line if they want to, as government should be transparent. So, it takes a little while to do it. But I think if that's it, if the section line doesn't go anyplace, I don't see any reason why it couldn't be closed. But we just have to follow the correct process.
Perfect.
Yep, I'll give my email.
Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the roads that you
Yeah,
were
back to the
discussing?
road. So we're starting the county permit process with these documents and with Wayne, and just wanted to bring that forward to see if you had any questions, any concerns before we kind of start this permit process.
Wayne, any questions or concerns from you on this?
No. We have been discussing it and talked about the different roads that they're gonna be using, some of them. I think we changed a little bit, but depends upon weather and stuff. I think the commissioners, I believe they agreed to open cuts on the road.
Griggs County?
Yeah.
Well, that would be one of the questions too, is yeah, open cutting roads. If we have to tunnel a road, that tunneling versus open cutting a road is about $1 million difference per crossing. So it's very helpful.
Gonna
if
cut
it's an
the
open
paved
cut
road?
I have a question about the open cutting and roads. How long will Garrison fix the roads on open cuts? After the first year or two, those roads might settle. What's your responsibility going to be for fixing those roads in the future where that cut happened?
I believe that's on us, Garrison Diversion,
Permanently?
for a long time.
Well, it'd be nice because we can at least get some kind of wording.
Yeah, because how do you look at that crossing?
Because you could say a long time. Well, a long time could be 10 years to one person and 4 years
Yeah.
to another. So
I think that's up to you guys. Yeah.
I don't know, is that, Jamie, is that something maybe Wayne can discuss with them and approve for the amount of time and cost, or is that something?
Yeah, I think that that's something that we should look at. Making sure that we take care of, get something in in the agreements in order to protect the county and to protect them too.
I believe I asked Scott and he said forever.
Well, then it should be written. in.
Most likely, yeah, not disagreeing.
Settles and it's.
Yeah, no, that's,
No, we're not trying to trap you or anything, but we,
Yeah.
just trying to save a dispute from going on here.
Should be something written, like you said.
and then that'll have to be given to us to, if we're signing off on an agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how fast can we get across the road, guys? Roughly.
Paved roads are generally a week. Gravel roads are 48 hours.
Do you close them or you bypass?
It just depends on the detour. I mean, if it's a long detour, we can leave it up to you guys what you want us to do. I mean, if it's something that's not too far for people to get around, it's easier just to close it.
It's a mile before, we go mile up over and back down type of deal.
Yeah, there might be a unique circumstance where there's no detour and maybe, or there's no, yeah, detour, so you want us to build a bypass.
We just cut one over there in Wells County or Foster County, and it was 12 hours from start to finish.
Okay.
Gravel.
And then we try to communicate with any landowner that uses that road, you know, kind of give them heads up, hey, would this week be okay, next week, and try to stay out of harvesting times and.
Yeah, we will not cut a road, during planting or harvest.
Yeah, and a lot of them seem like it's not too bad, a lot of gravel. The biggest one I see is Highway 1. Cause that's a very, very busy road.
So highway, so we're working with the DOT on that one.
Well, we won't need to worry about that.
No, but we are working with North Dakota Department of Transportation. They're gonna allow us to open cut that. But that one, we do have to build a bypass around. They're requiring that.
When you're backfilling these holes, I mean, is there a certain compaction? Has to be-
Yeah,
Yeah, it's 95% every 1 foot, and then the top foot has to be 100% compaction. And so we're meeting those now.
Do you use geotextile fabric?
Yeah, for the last foot, we put it down, yeah. We try to go back in with the same native material. But we're finding that if we just put class 5 in there, it acts a little different, right? It can be. So if everything's the same material, there shouldn't be any settlement or anything.
Less chance of movement type of deal.
Yeah.
and that we get that right from the DOT. The DOT standards, that's what they call for too, so we just follow those.
Would we have 2 paved roads?
Yes.
Cut. One.
23 and 19.
Yeah.
These utility permits, it doesn't have, Scott, it doesn't have 19 on it.
We probably didn't yet because we're only looking, I didn't want to flood you with a bunch, so we only went for what we're looking at in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
19 would probably be in 3 years, so that's a little farther out.
Could you have some kind of process or written up that says how you
Yeah.
backfill and
Get you something for sure, yep.
should get a copy of that stuff.
Yeah, we can get a package together that shows county roads, the general drawings, and then the specifications.
And then the maintenance time, which you guys are that do behind it.
We'll add the maintenance to that.
Yeah.
Yep, agreement.
And
Sounds good.
Have you been working with the townships?
Yes, not so much on road crossings or anything yet. We're kind of waiting, till these packages come out for sure for Griggs County, but yeah, we've met with
Especially the one-
at least the townships, on the west side. We've started, yep.
Yeah, and just so you know, we have not advertised yet, but we're really close to advertising. And then if we do advertise an award, then most likely your work would start next spring. in Griggs County, but we have not advertised yet. There's just some bugs we're working out on with some of the cities that have signed up for the project. We're working with some things with them before we advertise.
Well, how close are you to the Griggs County line? In Foster County, 8 miles.
About 2,
So contract
6A would be.
6A
about
was
2.
approved and they just started working on 6A and that takes us. Yeah, let's see. That's probably. What do you want to say?
Well, we don't get to Highway 20, so it's a ways.
No, we get just past.
Oh, yeah, yep.
We go past Highway 20.
No,
we go-
Highway 20 is Glenfield. We don't get to Glenfield. We only get to Kensel Highway. We get about 4 miles past Kensel Highway, 4 miles east of Kensel Highway. So whatever.
Not to the railroad track yet then.
No,
Oh, we did D9.
no, we did 9, right? We did 7.
And how far do you guys go average a year? Mile a year, 2 miles a year, a couple miles.
Last year we got 14 miles or 16 miles.
14.65 miles.
We've one crew has gone almost 2 miles already this summer, just with one of the 4 crews we're gonna have here.
And our goal is about 15 a year. I
Yeah,
think is our goal.
Yeah, last year our target was 13. We met that even though it was a really wet year. So, yeah. Roughly 15 miles we're trying to shoot for a year.
Basically, you go till either first freeze up or the first snow fly type of deal.
No, like last year, snow flew before Halloween and then it melted, it warmed up, and I think we end up putting the last stick of pipe in the ground sometime in December 11th. There we go.
That's good.
So, yeah, but it's pretty much weather dependent. So once the ground starts freezing, we can't do any backfilling, anything, so.
No,
we'll
that's
shut down
understandable.
here, so.
Yeah, if we could get that list and that maintenance requirement that you guys are gonna promise, that'd be great.
Yep.
And then we could get some kind of.
Who should we submit that to?
Give it to Wayne and then he'll give it
He
to
can
us.
bring it to
Okay.
us. And then Jamie can review it too. That way, you know, since especially that whole section deal too.
Right.
He
Yep.
can, he can just have him review the section deal, the contract deal and everything else. That way everything's fully legal. We can sign off on it. That what we need to do.
We just
Okay.
leave it up to Wayne to handle it. No, but you'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
If you could send a copy to Jamie, that'd be you guys' email.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have my email? Let's look. I'll just throw it in my piece of paper.
Oops.
I do have business cards.
the laugh.
It's not
Nice
today.
business.
Well, the pen
Nice
business too.
business card.
Thank you.
Anyhow.
You weren't judging.
Not at
Out
all.
loud.
There was some awkward looks, I think.
You weren't judging out loud.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions for us?
We do, we'll have one
Yep.
get it to you.
Yep. Let us know.
Yep.
Yes,
Appreciate
great.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Leave
Right.
these with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
We have about 15 minutes. Do you want to jump ahead to?
Yep.
To something?
Let's do
Do
the,
that community action letter.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Community action letter.
So I'm not throwing you under the bus, Rod, but you are the commissioner person on this board. And they called me and they said that Rod has not been to a meeting yet. And so we are showing that we have a vacancy. They are wondering if maybe there's, we should switch it up if you're not able to make those. And then I just had them kind of type out a little letter for you guys to kind of review. Totally up to you guys of what you want to do. They usually have a commissioner do it. Otherwise, you can appoint somebody off of the commission, but it has to be appointed by the commission. So I know that Scott had done a little bit of work with this, but I'm not really sure what he all did, but that's
I suppose this isn't the easiest for Rod to do because
No.
he's gone most of the time during the week to hit
Yep.
the meetings, and if they're not virtual, I mean, that's tough.
right. So if there's somebody else that is better fit for this, we can do some changing up or whatever.
Swap up portfolios.
Yeah.
How often do they meet? does
I'm
it
not
say?
sure. Does it say in that letter?
Didn't really say. Oh, Tuesday of every month. The last Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
Sam.
Yep.
Is there anybody willing to?
Yeah, and then for me to get there on a Tuesday is just about impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy peasy fix. Anybody willing to swap portfolios or take on this one and maybe give one of yours to Rod or just take this one on?
I'm having difficulties with mine.
You're pretty booked too.
Well, I could maybe make it most of the time. Don't see why not.
As long, I think it's just to at least make, the
So- yeah,
majority,
yeah.
but to kind of go the initial to get sworn in, then a vacancy is off of there or whatever. And then it'll just be to go forward.
I'm kind of retired, so.
You have more time.
I could maybe, yeah.
Well, thank you, Lauren.
So can we have
Or do we need a motion?
yes, please.
All right, we are looking for a motion for Lauren to take over the community action portfolio. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make that.
I'll make that motion.
Give it to Rod.
Motion by Rod. I'm looking for a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Josh. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I
same
thank you,
sign.
Lauren.
Give me a copy of the letter then,
Absolutely, I will.
or whatever.
All right, thank you, guys. Motion passed.
Thank you, Lauren.
Okay,
Thank you, Lauren.
whatever.
Rod said thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I know sometimes some of this. I think we gotta go to our,
It's quarter after. It's only 10:15. We can't, equalization meeting comes at 10:30.
what's that?
Equalization meeting,
Oh, can we do the household or?
Yes, I think we can. Let's
So we can
zip
get-
over to the custodian position,
Yep.
or is
Let's
there
get that
anything,
done so I can leave.
is there anything else under old courthouse, new courthouse?
We were talking about extra building, a metal building.
Okay, yes.
Rod hadn't looked into that.
Yep, Rod looked into that extra building. Rod, you want to give us a report on that building?
Well, the building costed, like I said, is $6,900. But I think that if there's room in the building over there where we're storing the lawnmower now, over there where in the old courthouse, there's just a lot of clutter, like in between the two buildings that we have now, and there's the scaffolding that's there, for example, and I don't know if there's anywhere we can take that and store it down at the county, even if it's not indoors, I mean, it's metal, I don't think it's gonna ruin it to even be outside, but if we're gonna clean the windows, have the windows hired clean, I think, it's just taking up a lot of room that we could use, and I'm thinking that maybe we could get by without a building right now. I'd like to at least clean these buildings up and then see what we have for room.
Well, I don't think we ought to put any of that stuff in that because that building has got dirt floor and I don't know if we want to store any.
I think Amber got the Sally Port cleaned out and has it looking really nice
Oh.
and got pretty much everything in that
Oh, she did.
shed. Yep. And there's just a little bit more of like, some kind of wood, for in here, up on the shelf that, once we get a maintenance person or whatever, and we get some of these, areas cleaned up, that can go somewhere else. But right now it's fine. And she's got the garage cleaned out and
If she's
able to be-
happy, I'm
Yep,
happy.
yep.
If
she's
if
happy
everything's
and-
cleaned out and happy, and then we're gonna go on a maintenance position, maybe
If
when we find
can-
somebody that's
if we can
maintenance,
interview it
we can
later
find a
or
designated
review it
area
later
for
or
it.
Yep,
whatever.
and there's space in all of these like maintenance rooms. There's, a few of them scattered throughout the building that we could,
Just as
get
long as
some-
we don't block any panels.
Okay,
Right,
well, that's fine.
Yep.
I'm satisfied.
Wonderful. Do you want to pull up the position PowerPoint that I made? I'm a PowerPoint girl because that's how I share info. We did receive 3 applications for the position. 2 of them, I believe, are looking for a full-time position. I believe, I haven't talked to anybody, but I think the 3rd one was looking for just the housekeeping itself.
Correct.
Contract. Okay. So the discussion here, we have 2 things to discuss. Number 1, merging the housekeeping and maintenance position into a 1 full-time position where it's 37.5 hours a week with full benefits, and then we would contract the windows out. And then 2, contract the courthouse tasks. Ideally, if we could contract everything out, it would be cheaper for everybody, but we're just not getting the bites that we would like to fulfill that. We have one position, the housekeeper. We can do the snow removal and the window washing and the mowing, but we are not getting anybody who's wanting or interested in the position of the maintenance management, part-time. Did you find it?
I did.
Okay. As I put on the PowerPoint up there, because I'll just keep talking while she opens the slides, and then you'll be able to see what I'm saying when it's up there. Okay, so our current position or the position that we did have, I'll go to slide number 2. Okay, this is what I was discussing, our two areas out of 3 things we need to figure out today. We don't need to hire somebody today, but I think we need to kind of figure out if you want to contract or merge the position. Slide number 2, please. Or 3. This is what it was. This is what it used to be. It used to be 40 hours a week. The budget was $51,555. And we were spending $78,826 total. That included the benefits with it, because it was $21,000 in benefits. Next slide. Here's if we merge it into 1. Working Monday through Friday, 37.5 hours a week for 52 weeks is $1,950. They'd be available during business hours. They would do housekeeping, manage contracts, like carpentry skills, painting. They do the snow removal, the lawn mowing, and the carpet cleaning, because we got a quote for the carpet cleaning, and I saw it was super expensive. We'd almost be better off purchasing our own carpet cleaner. And then if we have a full-time position, we could have that person do the carpet cleaning once a year. And spot clean in between. Clean the offices while the staff are present, and then we would still contract out the windows just because they are so high up and so big. We could have them come quarterly since we did like that. The total cost would be $66,521. So the breakdown of that would be salary at $21 an hour. Now that is not cut in sand and stone. I just threw that number out there because it was the in between of the price we were paying. So the total salary would be $40,950. The benefits would be $21,000, and then the window contracting would be $3,500. So our budget, which includes the salary and just the salary and some supplies, I think, but was $51,555. So our cost with the salary and the windows is still $7,000 under the current budget. So we still would be saving money by merging the position in 1 and just outsourcing the windows. And the other option is if we contract everything out, this is the exact same slides we had last time, it would be 46,000, but we're not getting any bites. I don't know what you guys would like to do.
I'd say I like the full-time deal, just because someone's always here.
Next one.
Someone's always here doing something. And if there's ever an issue or whatever else, they would be there, or Sam could talk to them, or whoever would be, in this office area that could you know, help handle things. I don't know if it's you or whoever else. But the fact that somebody here full-time doing stuff, I like that a lot more than a contract.
Okay, agreed.
But that's my personal opinion versus what you
We
guys.
got a problem though. If we start paying somebody more than they are down at the maintenance or their help in here and we're paying more for that job than the rest of we're gonna have a awful lot of upset employees.
I took this off of what we were currently paying.
I
It's
know,
less
but
than
I
what we're
just
currently
mean,
paying.
we gotta be very careful about that.
Yeah,
What,
no, no, that's fine. This is just like you said.
This is
we
rough
can't-
draft.
This.
I know, but we can't upset all
No.
the staff just because we want somebody to be,
No.
whether it's maintenance, full-time or part-time or whatever, we still have to be very careful about what we're gonna be offering for pay.
Right.
And,
Well, and also it could kind of be devil's
Yeah.
advocate there. They can also apply for this position if they wanted to do this.
yeah, but then all the rest of them, I mean, if you,
Right, I'm,
you can be, I mean, we can,
Right.
but I still think we gotta be very careful about
Well,
what we're,
she's
what we're
just
thinking
using
about.
it as an average number. That's not a set number.
well, no, but we gotta be under, if Wayne is paying $20 an hour for his help.
If we
that's-
could bump it under, that's the point of it is this, that's why we're discussing it. She just
Well,
picked a
I'm-
number at a
I'm-
wage.
Yep.
I understand.
Yep.
But wanna make sure that we're not upsetting all the rest of our staff, that's
No.
all.
right, right. And they do, I mean, these people also have a skill set that they have to have if we're having them do like carpentry
What
skills
is
to be able to
your
work here.
Oh,
But
Well, I mean, what are the, like for your,
The deputies, I think, are at 19.
about $19 an hour? Well, I just wanna make sure that we're not upsetting
No,
everybody.
that's
oh,
understandable.
totally understandable, yep. What is a good number that you guys all agree upon, or do you guys want to discuss that after we do? If you do interviews, I think they're gonna want to know what the salary pay will be. Or do you want to base it upon experience? We can do that too. And
Well,
say it ranges between here and here, and then,
I think we should have a set wage. Oh, go ahead, Rod.
Well, I kind of think, I agree with Steph, we'd almost have to go by some who applies to what skill sets they have. And, you know, because, because if they don't know anything about a generator or, you know, snow removing, somebody applies and they can't run the skid steer or whatever. So, I would have to think there's gonna have to be some skill set involved, but I would say somewhere between that 19 and the 21 would be on the high end, but it'd have to be somewhere between, probably 19 and 20.
okay,
Most of them though, you aren't gonna find too many people that are gonna be plumbers and electricians and generator operators and all that, all at one time. A lot of that is gonna have to be bring in somebody else to do that.
But
So-
that's what their position will do.
yep, they'll manage that to bring in plumbers and they can,
Well, but then that's extra money.
right? That is in a
But
different
the problem
department.
with that is that the problem with that is that, you got to pay for that skill set, and everybody has a skill set. I mean, I want to say that everybody in that building has a skill set. We need every one of them. But then you take down at the county, the guys that come there with CDLs, that is a very valuable piece, to have, that come to find somebody with a CDL. So we gotta be really careful. I agree. We have to be careful on where we pay everybody, because if we start upsetting everyone and then it's not good either.
Right,
I mean, we could refigure, what would that, so like if we did do him as a deputy at 19 then, I mean, this 19 sounds fair if you ask me, at something like this.
Well, we
Unless-
haven't got anybody that offered 19. One of them wants 25 and what they're expecting.
right,
So the only one that anywhere where is the one that's kind of part-time, and then if we contract out the snow removal and mowing and stuff. That's her. The rest are underneath.
but we still need somebody to maintain the building, that's, and manage the everything that's going on in between.
Well,
So we
If-
can contract out a housekeeper, but we still need somebody to maintain the building.
if we
And
can find somebody at what we can afford or not upset everybody, I'm all for it, but I don't think, I think it's gotta be in relative to what we're paying the other
Yeah.
employees.
Okay. I would say let's not pick a number. Let's make it varied based on experience between 19 on the starting and 21. I don't think 19 is very good for a starting person because we're expecting this person to be able to run a skid steer, to be able to run a mower, to be able to, in the skill set there,
But they also get benefits.
they also get benefits too.
That's a huge factor right there.
We'll make the range between 19 and 20.
Yep.
Make instead of not,
I
and
mean, I'm not saying that the person doesn't deserve it, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of places, oh, I got 24. Well, what were the benefits? Well, I got this health insurance that doesn't cover anything. We offer really good health insurance for a
Right.
single. So I mean, that is a factor right there.
we were paying an average of 22 for housekeeping for about, I don't know how many years, so.
Well, there was people that were upset about that.
Right, right, so.
Because it was part-time and they were getting a benefit for a part-time and that's not right.
So,
either.
Mhm.
but I still think
No,
we're gonna have to be careful about that. I don't want to upset everybody.
no, and that's, you make a value point.
Very. Mhm.
And if we do that, then we're in, as commissioners, we're in a lot worse trouble than we want to be in.
Yeah.
I think a good start would be to,
I'd say we start at 19 and just, because that's like where she pays her deputies and everything else to versus the higher skilled ones like what Wayne does. He does them at 20 on the road. So I say we do 19 to 20 and I mean, we go from there.
What do you want to re-advertise or what do you want to do?
well, I think you should interview the two people applicants that we have.
3?
I thought we wanted a full-time position.
Well, don't we?
We could
include
add
all of them?
We could do all of them and
Okay.
see, but
I think there should be two,
because maybe we could talk to them and if they want to eventually switch to full-time, they might want to do that depending on. So
Rod and Josh, would you two, I think we could can we motion to make a little committee to interview these people? Does that have to be a motion? Or can we just appoint two people to say, hey, can you guys
I think
interview them?
I think we should do it like what we did with Lauren's position. They should come up and they should come to the whole council and do an interview. I mean, you guys could disagree with me if you want. I understand that, but you know, since there's not really a full department head on this, I mean, there's people in charge of it, but there's not a full department head. They gotta come to me, they gotta come to the commission and they do the interview that way. Or am I wrong about that, Sam?
I prefer not to have the full interview in front of the public for the questions we may ask,
Okay.
or
Right. I think we want it from public.
You were cutting out there, Rod. What was that?
I agree with Seb. I don't think the interview should be in front of the public.
Okay.
I feel the initial interview should be with two of the commissioners,
Okay.
and then you guys evaluate from there and then introduce them to, or what you guys feel, and report it back to us in a commission meeting. I think that I would feel comfortable with that.
So it's kind of like the bid openings for your road
Okay.
projects or whatever. It's like if you get to, do this and then you report back to the commission on your recommendation
Okay.
of what.
As if we could do it that way and it's still legal, justifiable way, I'm okay with that.
Are you and Rod be willing to?
I'm okay with that. I mean, as long as Rod is, I mean, it makes it difficult because me and him both are running around a little bit, but I could figure something out, work with my job, as long as Rod can, and in worst case scenario, we can do it over the phone. Is that all right with you, Rod?
Yeah, I'd like to try and be there in person, but I'm willing to do that.
Maybe like on a Friday afternoon or something like that? You think that would work?
Yep.
Because that would be easier
Yep.
for me unless I get trapped on a call or something like that. I could take a couple hours off on an afternoon and probably make that work
Okay,
on a Friday afternoon and do a week type of deal.
okay. I can fill in if you
Yep.
guys absolutely cannot,
Yeah.
but I think you two would be the stronger in the position.
Yeah.
A Friday afternoon or Monday morning works for me, so.
Yeah. So let's let's reach out to these individuals. I mean, can you reach out? Do we reach out to them? How should we do this?
I think if you guys are gonna do the interview, you guys should, meet together and then one of you reach out and set that all up whenever it works for you guys.
Okay.
I mean, I'm here to help you with anything you need, but
Do you want to meet up like Friday afternoon or maybe when I get off, Rod, and we can discuss it and then kind of figure out what works best for us and reach out to them and meet up with them, or what do you want to do?
No, that's fine. Let's just meet up this Friday afternoon then and we'll reach out, we'll reach out to them and set up an interview.
Okay, so should we set the wage at starting full-time $19 an hour then? Does that seem fair? Or should we not even figure that? Cause
Better ask them what they're gonna demand.
yeah, well, they have on here what they're demanding, but at the same time, we could say, here's our starting wage and we can go from there.
Right. I would say we should interview them and then kind of, I'd say that in 19 is where we'll start at, but I think we can look at it, at the applicants, see as they, after the interview, what we think.
Okay. And then discuss it with the commission, Viva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if somebody comes with a full skill set, or something, so
Yeah.
anyway.
No, and that's fine. I mean, I don't want to knock any skill set, but at the same time, like Lauren said, it's just tough because you don't want to upset any of the employees. So.
I agree.
So.
Good. Any other information on that? Any questions or additions? We'll put that on the next meeting for, you guys will come back next time and review it with us and.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
and then we do have that quote for the rugs. From Aeromark or Vestas, Vestas. So you do have, we did cancel the contract for them to clean the rugs, but we can purchase rugs from them. Here is the pricing for each of those. Do you want just to sit on that for a little bit, or do you want me to purchase rugs? What are your?
I say we sit on it till we fully know what we're gonna do.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Sounds good. I will keep it.
Because that's not jumping any guns here till we get everything set into place 100%.
I like that idea.
We will keep it. All right, good.
That it?
All right, perfect. Let's move on to Linda.
What do we got left?
Right now do we need to end this meeting to start the equalization meeting?
Yes.
Are we completely ending the meeting, or are we don't,
Or do we need to put in a recess?
or do we need to, I think we've gotten everything,
Recess the one and then open the board.
But I mean,
but I think we completely covered everything on our agenda. We don't need to.
Oh, yeah.
When they
and
come-
can close, yeah.
Back. Okay.
Do you need me? I should go.
You can go, but let's make, I'm looking for a motion so we can adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion by Lauren,
I'll second that.
second by Rod. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Perfect. Meeting adjourned at, look at my time, 10:39. Next regular meeting is June 23rd at 9:30 a.m.
Can we take like
Move
a
into-
2-minute recess quick?
What do we have? What are we gonna do now?
And now we're gonna go into the county tax equalization meeting, where Linda reviews all of
Oh,
our annual tax information.
yeah, no, I read it. I saw that, but I should really go.
Okay, you're fine.
Okay,
We'll cue you in.
if there's anything important.
You still have that one.
Meeting.
As long as Rod doesn't go anywhere, I still have my quorum.
I'm fine.
Okay,
Perfect.
Okay,
Right.
I could stay, but I have a meeting with my attorney
You go ahead and meet.
and so. Need this here.
No. Got
You're
you.
Thank you.
You have a good rest of the day.
I'm gonna put these two people down that were here earlier, and I took care of them.
Okay.
I want to make sure that.
If you need anything, I vote yes.
I kept the gun here.
We're going to give Stephanie a lot of retirement money. Thank you.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Okay. We will call this meeting to order for the county tax equalization on June 19th, 2025 at 10:41 a.m. We'll start off the meeting with Linda Morris, who's going to give us the update.
Okay, thank you. I presented or sent you some, the report for the 2025 Board of Equalization. And on the letter, it indicates the total amount for 2024 and for 2025. And the percentage of increase would be about 3%. And with the approvals that I have on my recommendations presented today. All three classes of property, residential, commercial, and agriculture are within North Dakota State Board of Equalization tolerance level of 90 to 100%. So if we turn to the second page, that it also indicates that our sales ratio, which was presented, will be presented to the state at commercial being within tolerance of 8% and residential 10.5. So, and then agriculture is 4% on the Griggs County sales ratio. So we're good to go. There was no change to the ag land in valuation. So you're going to see in the following pages that there's a difference in percentages on the overall townships because the majority of them are ag land. And there was 0% change on ag land. The next thing in the report is I'm asking for a motion to approve the Griggs County cities. Benford had completed 3 building permits and new construction, and they also took the 9% increase on both commercial and residential. City of Cooperstown, they met and approved the 9% increase on residential and 40% increase on commercial properties. They had 3 building permits completed, and they also, so the overall average for Cooperstown was 15.3 when you add them all together, when you have the totals. But they did take the 9% on residential and 40% on commercial. Hannaford met and they approved the 9% increase on residential and commercial, and there was no other changes in their valuations. So the next, excuse me, I would ask for a motion to approve the city assessments for 2025.
Looking for a
As
motion to
presented.
approve the city assessments for 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Josh. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Rod. Any discussion?
This is basically just everything that you've talked to the city, the county, everything else, and
Yeah.
they made their pretty much their stamp of approval on everything.
Right, correct.
Fantastic. This is so nice. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? And this is a,
One question I had is just to read those numbers. We went up 10, what did we go up on commercial property? 10, was it 10.5 you said?
Excuse me, for the townships and the cities except Cooperstown, we went up 9% on residential and 9% on commercial. The city of Cooperstown went up 40% on their commercial. And they had,
40%.
right, correct. And the 40% increase was the taxpayers were sent notice of increases. They had their Board of Equalization. And I had two individuals, Halverson and Alverson, I believe.
Ellefson.
Ellefson. They were here this morning and I have talked to them and I'm going to be reviewing their notice of increase. So with that, we can always change that through the abatement process. But
And what was the reason that Cooperstown went up 40% on our commercial property?
okay. Thank you for that question. In 2023, the State Board of Equalization increased the townships by 27% on commercial and residential and decreased Cooperstown by 40% of their values. And the reason why the increase, or I recommended an increase to the city of Cooperstown, is to balance that out. We have to get the city of Cooperstown's values back up to that 40%. That 40% that was decreased in 2023.
Okay. So actually we're not actually going, we are going up, but actually we're just getting back to where we should have been.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Wonderful, motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, I have a list of the townships that I would ask for a motion. The most of them, again, the ag land did not change. A lot of the and I would like to point out Greenfield. I'd like to take that out of my original report that I have, and then I have an appeal that needs to be presented today. So
Okay.
all of the townships listed here were either agreed upon the 9% on commercial and 9% on residential. Some of them, if you look at Rosendahl, they had a huge shift in their increase and decrease valuation between commercial and residential because a lot of their land around different places were listed as residential and commercial, and we moved the value from commercial to residential where it should be. So that's where you get the decrease in the
What township did you exclude right now?
Greenfield.
Greenfield.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm talking too
You're-
fast.
no, you're-
No, so this is all the information, all the assessors visit with the townships all approved the changes, and then you visited with the townships all, and the assessors, you guys all got
Correct.
together and you guys all approved all of this.
All of them, yeah,
Except
except Greenfield.
We have,
What's the deal in Greenfield? What is it?
Okay,
She'll
and then
get to it. I'm kidding.
so
I'm kidding.
the motion is to approve that, but we can go to the next one next.
okay,
The next one on the thing is the recommendation for, is it Broadview?
yep,
They rejected the 9% increase on residential and commercial value that was recommended by the county. And I am recommending to this board to increase them both for 9% on the 30 parcels, which is a difference of 68,716. And the reason I'm saying that is because in order for us to get equalized, we need to bring those values up.
everybody needs to be the same
Correct.
increase. Okay,
And I would ask for a motion to approve
the township assessments,
the township assessments for Broadview at 9%, because the motion I'm asking for is a recommendation that they do receive the 9% increase and,
Cause if they don't, then others will go up even higher.
right, correct. And that the Board of Equalization can do that. And most of them on the prior, they didn't even include it in their minutes. They just knew that it was going to be 9%, or the assessor explained to them that it was 9%. So.
Okay.
But this one specifically wrote in their minutes that they rejected it. So I'm asking for a motion to approve that so we can apply the 9% to residential and commercial.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
motion by Josh to accept the 9% increase for Broadview. You have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Rod. Any other discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion?
I
Lauren?
got, I got a question, not on that, but just on go back to the 40% on the Cooperstown. I fully understand why it's 40%. My question is that, you know, it's just a big pill to swallow for some of them. Is that now just on Main Street residential, or how, where is the line? Is it any property that's commercial property, or is it how, not, excuse me, I said residential, Main Street commercial property?
Do you want to finish this motion
Yeah,
first?
can we finish this motion first, Rod?
Oh, yes, you sure can. I'm sorry.
Nope, that's okay.
Yep. That's,
Um,
yeah, let's finish this motion and then we can go back to that.
All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now on to Rod's discussion about the commercial in Cooperstown, the 40%. So to explain that right, 2 years ago, it was brought down 40%.
Correct.
Correct.
And-
I understand that. Yep.
And then
All.
we're bringing it, so we're just bringing it back up to where it was 2 years ago, pretty much then.
Correct.
And that's every single business in the Cooperstown city limits, correct?
Correct.
Have any of them been reassessed recently? My only problem, my only concern, not my problem, my concern is, let's say a business just was reassessed 2 months ago or whatever, you know, in that time frame. And then, so they're like right at today's assessment. And then we're gonna slap on the 40% onto them. So we're gonna end up what happened to like the Broughton land, you know, he was just assessed and then got pushed down that 27%. So it was current assessment plus 27. I just want to make sure that none of the commercial businesses have been just newly assessed and we're tacking on 40% onto their current assessment. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you. That does make sense. And the city assessor and we both looked at that, at the concerns. And the nice thing is we now have Vanguard. We're going to get it all put into place and we're going to notice those discrepancies. And again, if there was a definite error, it can always be corrected by abatement, because, and we might see some of those because both of her are new to the Cooperstown data. So not that she's new to Cooperstown, but the data that's in there, you know, so you might see, you know, a drop in some and you know, it just really depends. And the 40% was just basically, okay, let's get this on an even keel and then we're going to go forward from here. So I'm looking forward, Rod, to having some discussions with the city and with the assessor, working through all of this to where we can analyze the data and the sales, you know, as far as lots and
Right. My concern is, you know, we're, you know, small town business owners, and even when it goes down 40%, you know, it's always easy to take a decrease, but when it goes up, you know, and we're living in such an economy right now of everything so high priced that it's, you know, 40% is just going to be a lot to swallow.
correct.
there any way we can change that number, or is it just really gonna throw everyone else off?
They've all been notified and it's all been calculated. If we can always review it, we'll be reviewing it nonstop. So if there's something of error or something we can find,
Then we'll do it.
then we'll do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's, if we find one that is an error that was recently assessed last year and is up to today's date, and then, so that, if that person gets the
But
40%.
every business has been notified that it's going up 40%.
Yes, they were,
There's no,
they were all properly notified. And they actually had a special Board of Equalization and they was able, and the assessors, I'm sure we could call her, but there was nothing there. She didn't report anything.
Okay.
And then, like I said, there was 2 of them that showed up today and I will pass that along to her. And again, anything that is of error or something like that.
they'll be notified and it'll be
Correct.
adjusted and fixed.
Good.
I do get Rod's point though, I do, because that is a huge, especially in a small town, and I know they're trying to keep their costs down. So it sucks, it is a big hit on them,
Right.
it is.
Especially when 2 years ago they
Yeah.
were, it's like, woohoo.
Cause they got the tax break, but yet everything, the cost, of everything went up, so they still had to try and meet their quotas and
Yep.
Correct.
they still had to raise their prices, and that 40% is gonna be a huge chunk on every
Yep.
business and how they
Yep.
redistribute everything,
Yep.
so.
I feel good as long as that they're aware that they can visit with you guys. I'm
Yeah.
glad we have somebody here that they can
Yeah.
visit with.
Yeah.
And
And
we can
Chris
do
is-
abatements with that, makes me feel more confident with making this change.
Yeah.
To move forward with the businesses, and they have a person. Before, we didn't have anybody
No,
To
you're right,
even-
and you're right.
to help or to do the
And like
abatements.
like she said, they had the equalization meeting, and if nothing was recorded where nobody shows up, their voice to disapprove of it, they didn't show up to do it and everything, so.
No, and in regards to the Cooperstown Board of Equalization, not that I'm aware of, but they would have to be here as well. So, and these 2 showed up, and so it is a huge increase. But I think that once we work through it and we'll understand, once we get the residential and the commercial value in Griggs County as a whole, will be it'll be more equalized throughout the whole
This is to
thing.
meet the 90%, not the 100%, but the 90% rate.
Right,
So technically, you could have raised it more and you didn't.
right. And if it does go to the state and we're not, it's gonna happen the same thing. It's gonna,
They're gonna come in and do what they want regardless.
right,
Like
correct.
they did, what, last year or the year before?
Mhm.
And in the meantime, when they decreased Cooperstown, they increased the townships. So the townships have taken
They took it.
not a hit, both. But again, in Cooperstown, commercial is probably half of the commercial value in Griggs County. So Cooperstown does hold a lot of value within their town. The rest is out in the other townships.
Good.
Any more questions on that, Rod?
No, I think she answered. I'm just, like I said, I'm just concerned of the small businesses in town, that we're gonna. it's gonna be a lot off.
understood. I agree
So-
with you 100%, Rod. I do, but at the same time, I mean, even like they were saying, they're gonna do to us what they did last year. They're gonna, if we turn in under and they disapprove it, they're gonna turn around and jack it up anyways. So I know it hurts even you because you're a small business owner too. So, but if they had an equalization meeting and they didn't show up, what do you do about that too?
Right.
Right. No, and I
That we
knew
know.
that I knew that it had gone down 2 years ago and that, that we're there, it was going up just because of the putting it back where it needed to be, but it's still
It's
just
gonna-
a lot to swallow.
It is.
Right. And they'll be able to at least come in and do abatements and visit with Linda. I feel confident with having Linda here for somebody to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and reviewing it with everybody and making two business owners already came in and
Mhm.
Linda's gonna review that with them. And if we do an abatement, they do an abatement and we'll go with the recommendation, so, yes. Any other discussion on that?
Do we have to have a motion on this then, or
Are we looking for a motion to,
approve all this to send it
Approve.
in, or how do we go?
I have a couple more.
Okay.
oh, you just go ahead.
Go ahead then.
I have 3 listed here. I don't know if Stephanie knows if they can pronounce the names, but the following Board of Equalization did not approve one way or the other. So they didn't approve an increase and they didn't reject it. So their minutes did not include that, or they did not have minutes. So those 3 that I have listed there would need to be approved just with the 9% increase on all 3.
Which ones are those?
It's on Lenore, Mabel, and Willow.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I think is they didn't want to do it, so they want to kick it over to the county to make the decision.
Right, they didn't want to, yeah, they didn't want to make the decision so that they wanted us to make the decision.
Like, for instance, Lenora, they have 11 parcels, commercial and residential, 9 residential and 2. So their difference is not going to be very much because there's just 2 or 11 parcels to go up, where Willow is quite a bit.
I'm sorry, I don't mean it. Where's that at again? I'm just trying to think of the area and
Oh, and I have my little thing. Dang it.
Your little map.
okay, it's up in the corner. The north. North,
And again,
Corner, yep.
these 3, it's not that they rejected it or approved it, but they weren't,
they weren't making the decision.
they weren't unaware of it at the time, or at the time of their Board of Equalization. Willow expressed, they did not know about it, the 9%, I think it's the auditor or the secretary of the, however you, the townships. She said that, they did not know about that, or she did not present that to them, so. So I'm asking, if you would consider doing the increase, for them on both residential and commercial.
So we're looking at a motion to increase residential and commercial for which township?
Lenora,
Lenora,
Mabel, and Willow,
Mabel, and Willow.
At what percentage?
9.
9%, like the rest of the townships.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Josh, looking for a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Rod. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Barring none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Oops, opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, Greenfield.
Yes, let's look at Greenfield.
Okay, the Greenfield Township, indicated that, a gentleman by the name of Troy,
Troy Haugen.
Haugen,
Yep.
wanted, his property that's in Wallem, that,
Elevator is probably.
elevator, correct. And he wanted that to be tax exempt or farm exempt. And the county approved it as, they approved it, will pay $100 on land acres. This was approved by the county tax director. So that's what their minutes indicated, that it was not commercial property. So after reviewing it, I understand that it's not Troy, actually, it's in another person, it's in an LLC. And I was unaware of that. I couldn't figure out who Troy was, but you guys probably all know that. But anyway,
Let me put it this way, it's literally straight across the street from my house.
Okay.
So if you blow this up.
You can see your house. Okay, so what I could find is that the Haugen Farm
Mhm.
purchased that in 2019. And then in 2024, it was turned into TNL Properties LLC. That was sold to that. So those 3 or 4 parcels that were included in that include that whole block, I believe, the whole thing. So I think on my recommendation is to agree with them but to also leave the commercial land the way it is and then put a minimal amount on the buildings, just because it is within a block. It's not necessarily ag, land. I wouldn't be opposed to combining all of them together into one, which would make it simpler for everyone. And then, but just leave the commercial land value the way it is. And then also just reduce the value of the structures, because he is not using it as commercial. He's using it strictly for ag.
Yeah, so they only use a few, so the biggest thing was they originally bought it, they were gonna use it for their farm stuff, storage, making stuff like that, from what I understand. What happened is a couple years ago, everything got flooded, got damaged. So they have damaged property, which brings down the value, which is understandable. They do use some of the bins, but they have an auger and a tractor to use them. That's it. So they are basically using it for egg storage is what they're, from what I understand and what I've seen.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and that was my recommendation, is just keep a very minimal, $500 value, on it, just so that if the state or somebody comes in, there is a building there and it is commercial and it is a value. But I do definitely agree. And I also told the assessor that if it does change, which now I know if it does change and turn back into a commercial property, they will have to come in and we will have to reassess it. So my recommendation for those particular would be a total value of $2,538 total value for that entity. And then I will ask the county to combine all of them, so it's all one parcel under that name, and then just have a value of $2,500 on it.
Do we need 1 or 2 motions?
And then therefore it changes all of my numbers and the whole thing. So I'm going to ask for an approval of this for Mr. Haugen first,
Okay.
if you would, TNL Properties, if you would accept my recommendation on those 4 parcels, which is presented.
I make a motion to accept that.
Okay, we got a motion for Linda's recommendation. Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Josh. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? Barring none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
The next thing would be to approve Greenfields as presented, and that can just go along with all the rest of them.
Which is the 9% and
Yeah.
everything else, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion to approve Greenfield as presented
I'll make that motion.
by Josh. Need a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Rod. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? Barring none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, I don't know if you made you made a copy? No.
Of those 2 that you sent.
No, of the active.
No, I did not, make a copy of that. Did I put it in there?
Packets, the two people, or who do you be looking for? The two to meet to review?
No. Hold on one second. Let me grab it here.
I don't think.
I just wanted to talk to you guys about the farm residents. There's a list of 200 and some of residents, and they were not approved on the township level, but I'm asking, I approved them all through applications and what they were doing, and then
Homestead credit?
the homestead credits and also the disabled vets were also.
Okay, perfect.
Just because of the income that's based around it, it's very difficult for me to present any names or
Correct.
incomes or anything like that, but be rest assured that
Correct.
I have checked them, revalued them, and will send them to the state for the proper. And those two things, disabled vet and homestead credit, are reimbursed,
Yep.
where farm residents, blind, wheelchair are not.
Did we get more this year than the past, or is this the same amount, same people? I'm just kind of.
Same people.
Same amount.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for a motion to approve the homestead credit and the
Disabled.
disabled credits
I'll make that motion.
Didn't I send it?
by Josh.
You did.
Need a
Just
second?
put it in there.
I'll second.
Second by Rod. Any discussion?
I printed it somewhere.
Any discussion?
I can't find mine either.
Any other discussion? Barring none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Now, just a motion to approve everything that was presented with the changes on Greenfield, and we should be done.
We're looking for a motion to approve everything presented on Greenfield.
But presented today in the report,
Everything as a full whole, including green.
Oh,
including Greenfield,
oh, yes.
just so that we covered our bases.
Okay,
We'll-
time out for just a minute. We
Okay.
did, a motion to approve the veteran and
Homestead credit.
homestead credit. Okay, thank you. Sorry,
Sorry.
continue on. You're good.
Okay,
Oh, we should have them look at that list.
It's in your guys's file, the active farmers list
Yep,
is
I
in
saw
there.
that.
Yep.
Okay. So if you notice anything or if you want to review it, just keep in mind that the majority of them were from last year. I called a couple of them, they verified different things, and our plan is, I'm working with a couple of the staff and some of the assessors. We're gonna do a complete, we have it ready, we just a complete reapplication and worksheet, farm worksheets to get them all up to date and make sure the ownership is correct and things like that for next year, for 2026. That's one of our goals.
fantastic.
Okay, so I have a motion to accept all reports and all changes that were presented, including Greenfields. Do we have that?
Or is it, this is the motion for the 2025 assessments? To approve 2025 township assessments, including Greenfield, correct? Is that what you want to say? Or everything presented?
Percent or as a whole.
As a
the
whole?
thing. I think we already approved the
Oh,
Greenfield
yeah, we
one.
did, didn't we?
Okay, so just a motion.
Just what you said.
Got it. All right. Do I have a motion?
To approve everything presented today?
Did somebody make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Josh made the motion,
And then seconded by Rod?
second
Yes.
by Rod. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion on everything that was presented today? Bar none, all approved, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Perfect, motion carried.
Now do we have to prove, do we have it with this motion, so that's gonna turn it into the state thing, correct?
Yes. Thank you. This is so, this feels so good because everything is done. It's done on time. It's gonna be presented on time. I like that. Is there anything else on here?
Oh, no, like you said, you working with this city makes it a huge difference.
I've worked with,
Yeah, and do we know when Vanguard's gonna be up and running fully? Or I know it takes a while before to get all the assessments and updating and everything, but, or all that laid out, but.
and as a matter of fact, Cooperstown has the new program uploaded. They purchased a different laptop. And so they put the program on theirs, and we're the master, and I shouldn't say master. We're the head, and she's as that. So we're working together. I informed Vanguard that I had to wait till after boards until I could work with him, but
Perfect.
we're planning on it. It's very difficult because we have to manually enter a lot of stuff because a lot of it was unable to import from Cooperstown,
Okay,
especially. So we're just gonna start that.
yeah,
I do want to let you guys know, Binford, I'm gonna be going out to do a reassessment of the city this fall, so we're looking forward to that. For some reason, I couldn't do it in June. They got something going on, like a.
they have the whole rodeo.
Yeah. They said, no, you can't. So very nice to work with. So we're gonna go out and do a good job. And I talked to a couple of the assessors that are in the townships, and they're gonna come over so I can help them with how to reassess them and how to measure and do all kinds of things.
Oh,
So
good.
we're looking forward to that. Just kind of getting to know them and getting to know me. So
Wonderful. All right.
So do I have a motion to close?
Yep. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
Motion by Rod. Second by
I'll second it.
Josh. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right.
Meeting ended 11:18 a.m.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you. Bye.